Hello. Today, we'll be talking about the Camden experiment and how it would benefit being run in large U.S. cities like New York or Los Angeles. Camden is a city and county in northeast New Jersey. The Camden experiment was a police performative movement that was created by the city of Camden's local government. The city of Camden has long been known for its poverty and violence. Yet because of this experiment, Camden has improved greatly. Still, Camden has a long way to go before they become one of the safest neighborhoods in the East Coast. Years ago, President Obama gave it a label calling the city a symbol of promise for the nation. Camden's condition was horrible. Started during the mid to late 1990s, Camden started going downhill quickly. Their police force started to get more cruel against its predominantly black citizens. Riots and homicides also became regular occurrences. Families left because the city became too dangerous for their children. "I'm hearing horror stories," said former Camden Mayor Aaron Thompson, inviting hundreds of gang members into a once peaceful community. You can guess how that went. The city's territory also became horrible. Former residents of Camden explained the cities as disgusting, with large swaths of it abandoned, and more than 1,500 derelict, gutted row houses. The city looked horrible. The empty shells of windowless brick factories, warehouses, and abandoned gas stations surrounded the city. There were overgrown, vacant lots filled with garbage and old tires and rusted appliances. There were neglected, weed-filled cemeteries and boarded-up storefronts. There were perhaps 100 open-air drug markets, most run by gangs such as the Bloods, the Latin Kings, Los Nietos, MS-13, or Mara Salvatrucha. Because of the recurring murders and horrible streets, the city of Camden decided to run what I mentioned earlier, the Camden experiment. The city's county disbanded its police force and handed it over to the county. Donna L., Camden's former mayor, calls for dissolving the current 260-member municipal police department to form a 400-member regionalized police department based in Camden with a metro division to focus on the city. The proposal calls for the closure of the current 141-year-old department and the creation of a new and cheaper agency to be run by the county, one that will put more boots on the ground. One way the new regionalized police department would save money is by doing away with the existing union negotiated police contract, which costs them lots of money. The county created a new force as they fired all cops and made them reapply for their jobs and undergo the same amount of training they would have needed when they first started them. The Camden Police Department provided ongoing training and development opportunities for officers to enhance their skills and abilities. This includes regular in-service training, specialized training in areas such as de-escalation and crisis intervention, and opportunities for officers to pursue advanced education and certifications. Because of the new rules and better police force, there were less people selling drugs and business was much better. Foot patrols that were introduced helped with Camden police officers' relationship with the public, which was also a not great addition to what the city was before. The city improved greatly, as I said. The experiment worked like magic. It really helped the city become what it once was, a somewhat peaceful and hospitable place to live. Now, why would this magical experiment work in New York City? New York City is one of the largest cities in the world. The New York Police Department is also one of the strongest in the world, with more than 40,000 police officers, compared to the small 3,000 that Camden had. You could say NYC has a little bit too many. Reformed police officers would greatly benefit the large after-dark crime rate in New York City. Since the NYPD has already tried to reform its police department and it has not worked, I feel like taking a big leap by firing officers and taking reference from what they did in Camden would work out really well. Although, the government should not fire all cops immediately, but in stages like they did in Camden, demonstrating a perfect example of what they did in Camden. Helping New York subways and crime would benefit the city, once the concrete jungle where dreams are made of has turned into a dark, honestly sad city. COVID-19 really messed them up. Now finally, we move on to why the Camden experiment would work in the home of Hollywood, Los Angeles. Officials in LA decided to take a different route. Instead of fully reforming the Los Angeles Police Department, they decided to slowly hire more than 4,000 officers to the force, hoping it would cause an impact towards the response time and effectiveness of 911 calls, like the challenges Camden faced in 2013. The LAPD hasn't provided enough resources and effort to fully reform it, though. The Camden experiment would really work out well in LA, turning the homeless-ridden city into the city of Hollywood that they show in the movies. It would not be as hard as what they would have to do in New York, though. The local government only has to fire 8,800 officers, plus more than 3,000 LEPD workers, then rehire them. This is a much different number than 40,000 employees that the NYPD has. So that is about the end of my documentary, and in all, I think that the Camden experiment would prove to work really well in the process of police reform in New York City and LA. Have a good day.